What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Good Success Quick Tips. I'm Josh Culler, and with me today I've got Pete Richter, who's actually our Southern Indiana salesman for HouseSmart, and he's also the HR director, which is not a dirty word here, by the way. We're okay with it. So we love Pete to death, but today he's going to be talking about managing up, and this is something he's had a lot of experience with. We actually have a podcast, a full-on podcast about managing up, and then one about managing in, right? Or is one of those. So there's 4 ways to manage, and we've already done 2 of them. And so I'll leave those linked below so you guys can check those out and listen to those. So Pete, what do we have for today, managing up?
All right, thanks, Josh. I spent about 24 years in corporate America as a manager, and learned a lot of what I learned by basically by doing it wrong, being ignorant when I was first starting out. Trial by fire. Exactly. Yeah. And one of the concepts I thought that really helped me the most was what I call managing up. And I've got a lesson that I teach on the 4 directions of management. It's basically up, down, in, and out. And the up part of managing is managing those people to whom you report. And what I found was very important is figuring out how the organization should run according to what they want to have run. Now, when you're a manager, a lot of times you feel like you're given the responsibility of making the day-to-day operations go. And so we tend to do it with our own style, with our own opinions, with our own attitudes, what we think is right and wrong. And for a while I did that, and when I kept running into conflict, and what I realized was it wasn't my business to start with. If somebody else had the vision, somebody else started the business, and it was important to learn what was important to them. And if I could run the place the way and fulfill their vision, then everybody was happy. So a couple of things that I did was, where I used to work was a high-rise apartment complex. It was a luxury high-rise apartments in Chicago, and the owner, to whom I reported directly, started the business. He took over when this apartment complex was the projects, drug infested, prostitution rampant everywhere. He took it, and when he first saw it, he had a vision for what it could become. And then he used a lot of his blood, sweat, and tears to turn it into luxury high-rises. And eventually I came along to manage it. Well, I wasn't there for all of that, but once I heard him tell that story, a lot of things clicked in my mind as to why he was so particular, and why he wanted things done a certain way, and why somebody having a name tag on to him was so important. You know, it was life or death if people had their name tags on or not. And things, when I first heard that, I was like, that's not that important. But when I heard his vision and what he'd used his money, his blood, his sweat, and his tears to turn that property around, it really helped me to understand what was a priority. So understand why they started the business and what their version of the perfect picture is. If they walked around their business, whatever it was, and they saw, you have to understand, people see it. He saw a perfect picture. He saw everything clean, everything in its place, people in their uniforms, everybody being greeted friendly. That was the perfect picture to him. Whatever business you're in, the owner had a vision for why he started it and what he thought a perfect day would look like, a perfect picture. And if you can get that from him and understand that from him or her, then you'll be able to fulfill what they want. Then the last thing I did was I tried to adapt to the style of communication. You know, a lot of times people communicate how they're comfortable, whether it's texting or email or phone calling or voicemail, whatever the case may be, and they reach out to people in the style that they're comfortable, and they respond to people that way. Well, when you're reporting to somebody, figure out how they want it. How often do they want to get information? What kind of information do they want? What format do they like it in? Those are things that are just going to help you, instead of fighting with, well, it's much more logical if they get it this way, if I give it to them that way. That's not what's most important. What's most important is how do they want it.
Well, you're reporting to them.
Exactly. Yeah. It's their business. It's their vision. And we so are proud of ourselves, and we got where we got doing certain things a certain way. But when it comes to managing up, getting along with the people you report to, these are the things, understand their vision, what's their perfect picture, how do they like to receive communication. You'll be much more successful if you do it their way instead of your way.
Awesome, good stuff. And like I said, we are going to link the podcast below for that. Pete actually did that for managing up. and then we have a couple others about managing that we'll leave linked below for you as well. So Pete, thanks for being on the quick tips today. It's some awesome stuff.
All right, thanks Josh, appreciate it.
All right, and if this video did help you, make sure you give it a big thumbs up and then subscribe to us on YouTube or like our Facebook page if you're coming to us from there, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.